up, guys? It's Benny. Tucker Carlson shocked the world in 2021 when he announced that the intel agencies were spying on him and reading his text messages, and ended up successfully shutting down an interview he was trying to book with Vladimir Putin at the height of the Ukraine war. Only when Tucker Carlson left Fox News was he able to end up conducting that interview. Nonetheless, nobody ever denied that they weren't spying on Tucker. And now Tucker says that they are spying on him once again, and he may be arrested for a crime. Tucker Carlson dropped this video last night. 10 million views, 20,000 reposts, went completely viral. Tucker says that the intel agencies, the CIA specifically, are about to potentially arrest him, charge him with a crime. What is that crime? It's a FARA violation. Really quickly here, what is FARA? A FARA violation refers to Foreign Agent Registration Act. This is federal law. It's been around for 100 years nearly. The law requires certain individuals and entities acting as agents of a foreign principal to register with the U.S. State Department their activities and relationships, finances, and so on. The purpose of FARA is to promote transparency and foreign influence in American politics. Why would this apply to Tucker? Well, Tucker says that he has been speaking with Iranians and that he has a right to do that, and that he may be charged for doing that because he spoke with Iranians and then spoke with President Trump. Now, I don't know how that relationship worked, meaning Tucker is being accused of, and we're going to talk about this in just a moment, taking information that President Trump gave him and then potentially giving it to the Iranians. That's what people are accusing Tucker of. The other side is accusing Tucker of doing the opposite, right? Effectively acting as an Iranian agent with Trump, vice versa. Which side is playing which? Who's playing who? Or is Trump playing Tucker? I mean, who knows at this point? Let's go ahead and listen to what Tucker has to say about potentially being placed under arrest for a FARA violation from the CIA, saying the CIA is spying.
The other day, I found out that the CIA is preparing some kind of criminal referral against me, a crime report, to the Department of Justice on the basis of a supposed crime I committed. What's that crime? Well, talking to people in Iran before the war. They read my texts. So the crime under consideration apparently would be the Foreign Agent Act or something like that, acting as an agent of a foreign power. And I don't expect this to go anywhere. I'm not too worried about an actual criminal case against me for a bunch of reasons. One, I'm not an agent of a foreign power. Unlike a lot of people commenting on U.S. politics and global affairs, I have only one loyalty, and that's the United States, and have never acted against it. Its interests are the only interests I care about because I'm from here and I have a lot of kids. So that's not a concern. I've also never taken money from anybody. Don't need it, don't want it. And that's provable. And moreover, it's my job to talk to everybody all the time and try and figure out what's happening around the world. That's literally what I do for a living. And I'm not going to stop doing that. Nor should I don't think. I'm also an American. I can talk to anybody. I have no secrets to divulge. So legally, I think the case is ludicrous, and I doubt it will even become a case. I'm bringing this up for a couple of reasons, though, and they're pretty obvious. One is that countries tend to become more authoritarian in wartime. It's just the nature of war. People are dying. The stakes are high. People's emotions have risen to a very high point, to a crescendo. And so there's much less tolerance for any kind of dissent in the homeland. The irony, of course, is the United States fights wars on behalf of freedom, but there's always less of it here in our country during war. So that's a widely recognized phenomenon, and it's likely to happen now too.
So Tucker Carlson is saying that in his private conversations, he was speaking with Iranians, people in the Muslim diaspora. This is quite obvious. Tucker Carlson travels to the Middle East all the time. He was just in Israel, actually. And that those text messages may well embroil him in a FARA violation, because then he was also speaking with President Trump. And that's a matter of fact. He was at the White House actually in the hours before the Iranian war, trying to convince Donald Trump not to go to war with Iran. He's been pretty public about this, but also this is something that I have personal knowledge of. This is extremely disturbing. says Anna Kasparian. Like everybody has a take on this. Obviously, you won't be surprised that the takes fall directly in line with what your opinion is on this war, right? So admitting that you were texting with Iran and you were lobbying the president of the White House against fighting with Iran is expected, and then expecting to be seen as the victim might be the new definition of insanity. Here's Tucker Carlson's brother saying, our government is captured, corrupted, and bankrupt morally and financially and totally out of control. So the Carlson family clearly seeing, clearly ruffled feathers, right, in this, and for obvious reasons. If the CIA knew that he was talking to the Iranians, then Trump would have known also when he invited Tucker to the Oval Office a few days before the strike, which means Trump may have used Tucker to deceive the Iranians about the likelihood of an impending attack. This is absolutely fascinating and a remarkable thread. Like, was President Trump trying to countersignal to the Iranians that he wasn't going to attack? It's something that's fascinating. It's the most viral takes in my timeline. Obviously, there's plenty of people dunking on Tucker. There's plenty of people like horrified by this. But like this is remarkable. I think that I know you think you are smart, but everybody knew you were a foreign asset and that you were being used as counterintelligence asset. You got used as a counter-intel asset to convince them nothing was happening. It's very interesting. This has gone viral. So like you got used to kill the Iranian leadership. You personally were one of the key reasons they believed nothing was happening, which gave them the confidence to convene a meeting with their higher command. You did your job well being a traitor. That's fascinating. Like thought process here. I have no idea what's true, right? I don't. Who can know? Because it's probably classified. How did we know where all the Iranian leadership is? Of course it's classified, right? But like, and I wasn't talking with anyone in Iran, but whatever. Like the point is that like, is that what was actually going on here? Imagine thinking that you get a primetime slot with the president on the eve of the war after repeatedly humiliating him and calling him retard multiple times in public. You're arrogant. Your usefulness is ended. Time to go. Good luck. You're going to need it. Thanks for helping us. Kill all your friends. Okay. The entire internet is losing their minds over this. Obviously, like there are FISA allows warrantless spying on Americans. This is former Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene. Okay, so they're reading his text messages. I reiterate, I will never trust the government again. Everyone's saying, whoa, Tucker is being unwittingly used by the Trump administration to blow up the Ayatollah might be the funniest thing I've ever heard in a long time. If I was a foreign agent doing something that I shouldn't be doing, I too would come up with an elaborate story about how the CIA was out to get me. So Laura Loomer is allegedly the individual who reported Tucker to the CIA. That's like the rumors on here. I guess, again, you don't know what to believe. Tucker sounds like somebody who is about to be exposed for doing something that they shouldn't have been doing. For months, I've been calling Tucker Carlson to be investigated for FARA violations. If he's going to be charged, it's fantastic news. I hope Tucker is jailed. Usual playbook from Russiagate: regime spies on you, and then the investigation takes place in order to destroy you. I've worked in media for a long time, not as long as some, but going on 16 years now. This is the weirdest time in politics and culture I've ever experienced, says Tim. I agree with that. They're going to silence a number one anti-war voice in the country, aren't they? Been there, done that, says Roger Stone. Okay. Trump may have just pulled out one of the most badass counter-intel ops personally executed by a president. What does it mean, ladies and gentlemen? Is that what actually happened here? I mean, Tucker did go on the eve of the war have this meeting with Trump. Did that counter signal to the Iranians that it was totally safe for them to like go and meet, and then they all get blown up? I don't
including
know.
in famously 2021 when I was still at Fox News and trying to set up an interview with Vladimir Putin, and
Tucker Carlson,
the NSA, I heard from
Tucker Carlson saying that he's been spied on before. That this is like absolutely a matter of historic record. That the NSA did take Tucker Carlson's text. They never denied this when he was trying to get an interview with Vladimir Putin. At that time, it was the Ukraine war that was so hot, right? And they shut down that interview. They were able to successfully stop Tucker Carlson from interviewing Putin. He had his Fox News show at the time. Only when Tucker Carlson went private and did his own private podcast was he able to interview Vladimir Putin. Anyway, the point is that Tucker Carlson said, I've been here before.
With an American citizen, and had leaked them to news outlets. Those texts were basically my attempts to set up an interview with the foreign head of state. And they leaked them to the New York Times in order to stop the interview, which they successfully did, by the way. And they admitted that they were spying on me. This is not a fantasy. It actually happened. They did it again 2 years later. My second attempt to get a Putin interview, I managed to get it anyway. And they've done it since. And so when you get a call from a reporter who knows the contents of your texts, it's pretty clear something's going on. None of this, in my judgment, as of right now, is a huge threat to me. So I'm not making this video to complain about it or whine or ask you to send me money because I'm under attack. I'm saying it because it's true, and you should know what your own government is doing, and you should know what the stakes are. And you should know that a lot of what happens in this country that affects outcomes happens behind the scenes. Some of it is legal, some of it is not, including what I'm describing now. But it has an effect. And the intel agencies, again, not everyone in the intel agencies, because there are decent, hardworking Americans who work in the intel agencies are Americans, just like there are decent, hardworking Americans who work at the DMV. But there are also people with agendas and grudges and no sense of restraint who are happy to misuse the power they have, granted them by our elaborate secrecy laws, to hurt fellow Americans for ideological reasons. That is entirely real.
Oh, man. And these things are heating up. A wild moment that we are living through. We'll see, obviously, where this goes. Tucker Carlson is one of those individuals who has had such a strong and personal connection and relationship with Donald Trump. It'll be fascinating to see how this plays out. I'm frankly just blown away by all of it. We'll see what happens next. Stay tuned. It's your boy Benny. See ya.